For thousands of years, wolves have been part of this planet's evolution. They have been changed by the environment and in turn have contributed to the environment's transformation. Humans and wolves have coexisted for thousands of years. Humans have had a huge impact on the fate of wolves. And the question we have is, have we reached a point where wolves can have an impact on us? I'm Kim Young, I'm the Director of Communications at Wolf Haven, and we are a sanctuary and an education center for wolves. Over the past 33 years, we've rescued over 180 wolves and wolf dogs that were bred and raised in captivity. Wolves in the wild have never had an easy time of it. It's not an easy existence. Their average lifespan is about 5. It got harder when humans entered the scene because we nearly exterminated them, but they're making a comeback. Some people are thrilled about this. Wildlife enthusiasts, conservationists, nature lovers all recognize the wolf as a symbol of wilderness, as a keystone predator, as a key part of a healthy ecosystem. But then others have some very legitimate concerns. They may have a lot of fear, founded or otherwise. For those who make their living in a landscape where there are wolves, they have some concerns about their livelihood, and those are ones that we need to address. That kind of puts the wolf right in the middle. So you've got extremes. Wolves, we have found, bring out the extremes on either side. You love them. You think they are almost godlike. Give them all kinds of human attributes. Or, on the other hand, you can demonize them. They shouldn't exist. They're vermin, need to be wiped off the face of the earth. But really, what is a wolf? I mean, when you think about a wolf, what is it? From a science perspective, it's a member of the animal kingdom. It's another species like humans. They have their role as the rest of us do. They're very closely related to our domestic dogs, but as you know, they've been domesticated over thousands of years by humans. The same things are important for all of us, though, and those are things like family and territory, where we live, and what we eat. And I mentioned family. A wolf pack is basically a family. And not everyone is aware of that. It is something that I learned once I went to work at Wolf Haven. They're all related to one another. So you've got mom, dad, and the kids. Basically, you have the parents, and you've got the children of varying ages. And when they reach sexual maturity, they typically disperse to start their own family and survive. Prey, we mentioned. Wolves are at the top of the food chain. Their very presence on the landscape impacts hundreds of other species. Territory, home. A wolf pack's range can vary extremely. It can be quite small or it can be huge, and it really depends on the prey base. If there's a lot of prey in an area, they don't have to travel very far. If there isn't, they've got a huge home. Wolves. Wolves are returning, and we're excited about that. They're returning on their own paws to the Pacific Northwest. They weren't transported here. They came over, they crossed the borders on their own. They came from Canada, they came from the adjoining states. This is a great visual that shows all three things that we just talked about that are most important for survival. We have family, 2 members at least of this family. We have prey. There's the remnants of the prey that they are feasting on, and then their territory or their home. This map is a little outdated. It's going to be updated by the Department of Fish and Wildlife this year, but it does show the primary areas where wolves are located in the state of Washington, which you can see is in the northeast part. We have 52 wolves right now in the state of Washington. Wolf Haven has 50 animals. It's pretty amazing to think that there are the same number of wolves at our sanctuary as in the whole state. Here's the state, of course, of your beautiful state, Oregon. Also, wolves primarily in the northeast. There's a few wolves in the southwestern part of the state. This is a member of the Imnaha pack, and you can see it is a collared wolf. She's been collared by Fish and Wildlife so they can track her. That's the primary way in which they can count the wolves and tell you how many are in the wild. And it's one of the few packs in the western part of the state. One of the most famous wolves in Oregon, I'm sure you've all heard of him, is Journey, OR7. This shows you Journey's path. Journey spent 2 years and went almost 1,000 miles traveling from Oregon down into California, where they hadn't seen a wolf in over 70 years, went back up to Oregon and started his own family. So he was successful. Talk about a survivor. So how do we honor a wolf like Journey, who went to such great lengths to survive and start another family, and all those other wolves in the wild? We've reached this almost critical junction in history where we, as humans, can talk to one another and try to figure out ways to nurture and protect wolves, protect our wildlife, but at the same time try to figure out ways that we can protect the livelihood of those who live in areas where there are wolves. The old knee-jerk reaction was to kill them. That's no longer the case. Finally, I want to leave all of you with the question to think about: what values as human beings do we want to carry over in our decision-making about the fate of wolves? Thank you very much.